Welcome everyone to the 好萊塢 Diddler 烙賽真人秀第二季的第二集。Eminem has officially entered the chat， 小心燙哦。And his latest song from back in July is throwing some very clever shots at the Diddler from back before his indictment even went down. This entire situation has got a lot of 大咖明星 shaking in their boots, and the internet is digging deep to find out which celebs attended Diddy's parties and which ones might have even attended his freak-offs. Cause who knows, some of them celebs might even be accomplices. But you wanna know what's even more juicy than that? Diddy 過得很慘呢. My man is not doing so well right now, yo. And I bet you there's quite a few celebs who are fueling up their private jets and packing their things to get out of the country ASAP. But before they board that plane, there's absolutely one thing they must do. Saily, the latest and greatest eSIM service brought to you by Nord Security. Now I know a lot of you guys might travel around the world for business and also for pleasure. Everyone knows one of the most important things when going abroad is getting on them internets, bruh. Now of course you could go the roaming service route, but that quickly gets expensive as or you could just simply get a local SIM card in the country you're traveling to. That means you gotta get off the plane, possibly jet lagged, tired, then you gotta roam around the airport searching for the kiosk. When you finally find it, you gotta stand in line forever. And everybody knows when it comes to business travel, 타무 조심하리. Time is money, but you can save both with the Saily eSIM service in just 4 easy steps. Step 1, download that app, son. Step 2, select your desired country. Step 3, choose your plan. Check it. 15 天 unlimited data in America, 只要1500塊台幣哦. That's way better than the 1200塊 roaming service fee. 差2倍. And now for the 4th and final step. Once you've chosen your desired plan, 下單起來. And you're all good, baby. And you can be for sure the next time I go DJ abroad or take my family out for travel, I will definitely be using Saily's eSIM service. And you should too. Link down in the description and the pinned comment below. And last but not least, when you try Saily's eSIM service within 30 days, if you are not happy with the service, 他們會幫你退費. No questions asked. You literally have nothing to lose. Just before you shot that, click the link below or use my discount code 好雞雞 to buy Saily and get a 15% discount, yo. So get on it. 因為這樣子 Saily 可以繼續給我們業配. Alright, so now that you've downloaded Saily, 準備你的爆米花，讓我們來一起看弟弟出刷的過程。代誌大條。Now in Taiwan, the name Eminem is very popular, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard at least one song. But when it comes to 美國嘻哈，你可能不太熟。但別煩了啦，你的歐蘭朋友跟你講起來齁。Back in the 1990s, America was in its golden era of hip-hop, and it was essentially divided into 2 parts. The East Coast, which had Diddy, Nas, and Biggie, and then you had the West Coast, which had Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Tupac. Now I know some of you hip-hop nerds are taking to the comments to completely lose your shit, because there's about 10 other names I did not mention, but I'm trying to keep it simple for the newcomers, so chill. Chill out, honey bunny. Chill out, honey bunny. So, towards the end of the 1990s, the East and the West Coast were involved in a serious beef. We're talking 鐵板燒中秋節王品牛排 level beef, son. And during that time, Tupac and Dr. Dre were on the same record label, and they were both responsible for some of the biggest hits of the 90s. We're talking hits so big, they still play that shit at the club today, son. Now, after the East versus West beef, there was a huge void, and part of that void was filled by Eminem from Detroit, which is in the Midwest of the United States. And the odd part is he was discovered by West Coast Dr. Dre, and soon after Eminem got a little bit of fame, he discovered East Coast's 50 Cent. Now, although Eminem is Dr. Dre's protege, his rap styles, his rhyme schemes, and his music are very much East Coast. But at the end of the day, his loyalty is to the West Coast and Dre, because these two are tight, yeah! And it's safe to say that Eminem knows a thing or two when it comes to the death of Tupac. And he has been very subtly hinting at Diddy's involvement, dating all the way back to 2018 whenever he got in that diss battle with Machine Gun Kelly.
It's the day you put out a hit, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out, they got pop kill, ah?
Now this is from one of Eminem's most famous diss songs, Kill Shot. And in that same set of bars, he also goes after Diddy's male preferences.
So just leave my in your mouth and keep my daughter outie. You fucking... Oh, and I'm just playing, Diddy. You know I love you.
So after he calls out Machine Gun Kelly for trying to copycat his image, Eminem uses a line that he has used in a lot of diss songs. Except in Killshot, it's slightly different. You see, normally after he says you fucking, he follows that with the very offensive word for gay men that we know as the F word.
A bundle of sticks.
But the last time he used that word, he got in a lot of trouble. So in this case, he stopped short of using it, and then...
And I'm just playing, Diddy. You know I love you.
Now this is a very subtle diss, because Eminem's refusal to use that F word is out of fake respect for Diddy, because he knows Diddy is a part of that community.
Why are you gay?
Now you need to remember, this song came out in 2018, way before Diddy started to publicly have any legal trouble. And if you're not that big into hip hop, you probably just heard him making these lines and thought he was having a bit of wordplay. But actually, Slim Shady was giving you clues all along. But then, once the diddler was publicly outed, Eminem released the song Fuel back in July, and this time he was legit as fuck.
From the second you press play, I suggest they do not test like an essay.
So here, you've got a piece in a long stream of A rhyme schemes. And when M says, from the second you press play, I suggest they do not test like an essay, what he means is any of his lyrical ops who hear his records better not test this fool, because they would have to write an entire essay to even compare to those 3 tiny lines he just wrote. Basically, then in that last bit where he says,
Cause like where my homies out west day, we can just say
he is referencing the California city of LA, which nearly 40% of the entire population is Hispanic. Now in the black community, we say bruh or bro, and in Taiwan, they say shongdi. But in the Hispanic community, do you know how they say the same thing?
Like making jump, that's wrong,
Essay. And this links that previous line cleverly and perfectly. Now you might think this is a punchline, but actually M is just getting started, yo. This is all setting up for the main event.
I'm like an R-A-P-E-R.
So now, here's where he starts taking pop shots at Diddy, and he's doing Inception level disses, bro. He starts off by deliberately misspelling the word rapper, implying that Diddy was not a good enough rapper to be accepted by the hip hop community, which is why no serious lyricist actually respects him. So instead, Diddy had to go another route and become respected and popular in a different community, whose spelling is similar to rapper, but Salaika P.
It rhymes with grape.
I'm like an R-A-P-E-R. Got so many essays.
And then he calls back to that Moshika essay line from before and implies that the only place that Diddy has any real essays is in the R word group. That's the only place he can actually get respect, because hip hop don't respect him at all. But M doesn't stop there. You see, this is a 3-word connection. In the beginning, he uses essay as something his rivals would need to write to even compare to his bars, and then he uses the Spanish word for bro, essay, to reference his homies on the West Coast, and also Diddy's R-word essays. But in that last bit where he says the 2 letters S-A, this is an acronym for sexual assault, which is exactly what Diddy has been accused of by multiple people.
Cause like where my homies out west day, we can just say I'm like an R-A-P-E-R. Got so many essays.
And then in the last line, for those who missed it because he was rapping kind of fast, he calls out directly what he just did.
Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep.
Those last 3 words are the perfect hip-hop homophone. Leave out a P, did he? P Diddy? And Eminem is only half done, because now he's about to go in for the kill.
R.I.P. rest in peace, Biggie and Pac, both of y'all should be living, yep.
So here is pretty damn self-explanatory. M is showing respect to the 2 biggest names in hip-hop, one from the East Coast, one from the West, who were murdered towards the end of this hip-hop beef. But then he takes it a step further and puts both of their deaths on Diddy.
But I ain't trying to beef with him, cause he might put a hit on me like Keefy D. Get him.
When he references the name Keefy D, bruh, this is the guy who is currently awaiting to stand trial for the involvement in the murder of Tupac.
Bolstering Keefy D's claim was an informant in 1997 who told investigators that Puffy had hired the Southside Crips to kill both Suge and Tupac.
You guys never got any money
Never.
for anything.
Nothing. Not even a pair of Sean John drawers. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. It seemed like Puff do that though.
According to his testimony, it was Diddy who put him up to it. Then when it comes to Biggie, Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Dill, who's been saying a lot lately, made a very interesting point about something that Biggie did just before his death.
He knew Big was leaving the label. He said that in Hip Hop Revolution. He said that this went and got his own deal. Look at the balls he had. He went and got his own record label, his own deal. He didn't even bring the shit to Bad Boy. The nerve of him. He tried to laugh and play it off, but that's some serious shit. Cause all the money you spent to make, you made him into the Sochi Big Papa type dude. You understand? Under the Bad Boy umbrella. Now he's taking that to a whole nother label that gave him $60 or $62 million to work with. Who gonna take the blame for that? Big ain't gonna take the blame. Puff gotta take the blame.
So when America heard this, a lot of people took that to mean that when Diddy found out that his biggest artist was about to leave him, and not only that, but he betrayed him, if Diddy didn't call the hit, he at minimum knew who called the hit and kept his mouth shut. So now you're beginning to slowly understand why Diddy might not be doing so well in prison right now. From blackmail to drugging to R-wording to abusing women and possibly even murder. There are a lot of people in that jail who probably want to help Diddy up that mountain. Not just for revenge, but for self-preservation. You can be guaranteed there's a lot of folks who are very nervous. And if Diddy suddenly dies, that means their dirty secrets will die with him. I've said it many times before, and I will say it once again. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, the internet never forgets. And this very brutal truth is causing people connected to Diddy's lawsuits and people even loosely connected to Diddy to be ginseng as fuck. Because if you even know just a little bit of something about what Diddy was up to between 2008 and right now, then the folks at Homeland Security might want to have a word with you. And it probably ain't a good idea to leave them on red.
You better be careful.
Now, the prosecutors on Diddy's case might just have a couple of questions they want to ask you. They might ask you to testify, or even worse, they might ask you what you were doing whenever Diddy was getting up to his evil diddle deeds.
As U.S. Attorney Damian Williams promised earlier this week, he said this is an ongoing investigation and that they will be speaking to more people. We found out that these two individuals, and we have actually spoken to one of them, they are both sex workers, currently sex workers. One of them says that they had an interaction with Diddy in 2014, and they are willing to tell the feds what they know about that interaction. And another one said that they are willing, and not only willing, but have been subpoenaed to go before the grand juries.
So as you can see, folks are starting to yap. Even people who attended his parties up to 10 years ago are starting to kaikakou and说话咯. And I think it's only a matter of time before some high-profile celebrities join in, voluntarily or involuntarily. And one of those in the involuntary group just might be Diddy's best friend, Ashton Kutcher. Now, if you grew up in the early 2000s, then you probably know this guy from his hit TV show, That 70s Show, or maybe from his MTV prank show called Punk'd, where he actually met Diddy back in 2003. And these two became thick as thieves, yo. But hey, that was ages ago, and other than a few low-budget films, my man Ashton hasn't been doing so well lately.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you really? Have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Feel like, well, we still have some time to go, you know, I can blow it here.
Okay, feel free. Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
Now, if I'm a prosecutor, I'm definitely following this fool on Instagram. I'll probably add his line. Shit, I might even go old school and just call this motherfucker, cause he definitely knows things. But Ashton Kutcher is a B-level celebrity at best. And he don't even come close to the amount of fans and support that this next guy has. In fact, this next guy I'm about to show you has more fans than Ashton Kutcher and Diddy combined. Probably ×2. And when it comes to a celebrity list, he's on the N, the B, and the A list, son.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you about to just turn around and vibe. And Bron, me, when this is done, we gonna drink a couple of bottles of the most premium wine.
Please.
Guilty. That nigga is guilty.
And once Diddy got indicted, the internet dug up this little gem, a FaceTime between LeBron James and the Diddler. And I bet he wishes he'd never said those 7 words in his life.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Needless to say, my man is starting to look super sus. But there's another guy who's on that list, and he is one of the greatest names in R&B.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year. In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Now, soon after Diddy's arrest, Usher's X account was completely cleared out. And of course, he came out and said it was, hackers. Fun fact, back in the day, Usher introduced Justin Bieber to Diddy when Justin was only 14 years old. The exact same age Usher was when he was introduced to Diddy. And they both spent several nights at Diddy's house.
Hold up.
Wait a minute, something ain't right. But rest assured, the internet is busy connecting all the dots. You can be for damn sure that the feds have a lot of questions they want to ask Usher, and it ain't about dancing. Now, I only mentioned a few names, but you can rest for sure that there are plenty of people that the feds want to talk to. And right now, Hollywood is pissing their pants. But if one tiny little event happens, then all the celebrities who might be implicated in Hollywood can breathe a sigh of relief. If only Diddy doesn't take another breath ever again. So most of the people I've mentioned in the previous 2 chapters you probably already heard of, but there is one group of people who not only are nervous, but make Diddy even more nervous, and they rarely even step foot in front of a camera.
They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Cause if he had 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
These are the people with real power, the ones that can make accidents suddenly happen. And these very people make Diddy very, very afraid.
Who knows? It could be up to a year before this trial begins. His attorneys have said that they're going to try to get him moved to a different facility. But for now, he's in there. And what we've been told by a former warden is he's a target. That's the fact of the matter. And that's why they have him in a solitary part of the jail, because, you know, he becomes a target because it's like a badge of honor that if you were able to inflict some violence on Diddy, you score points with other inmates. So
real talk, Diddy has become the final boss in an online game. For all my WoW and EverQuest players, I got 3 letters for you: DKP. The more life points you take from that final boss, the higher DKP score. And ultimately, you can exchange that shit for rewards, son.
Welch, left side, now handle it!
Bruh, can you imagine how scared Diddy must be feeling right now? From the cellmates to the prison guards to even the infirmary nurses. Everybody is out to get this nigga for some real life DKP. Except in this case, it ain't Dragon kill points, it's Diddy kill points. From a world-famous, well-respected celebrity to a real-life DKP machine. Real talk, you just can't make this shit up. So, with Diddy sitting in solitary confinement, how long do you think he'll last before his trial? Or will he even make it to trial? I wonder if his odds are on Polymarket. So, which celebrity do you think will rat him out first? And most importantly, have you downloaded Saley using our special code to get 15% off? If you haven't, get on that, son. And after you do, remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace!